Students, in this class we will discuss about meaning and categories of share capital. It is our chapter in corporate accounting. Become second year students. Meaning and categories of share capital. Share capital may be defined as the capital raised by the company from the issue of shares. The amount invested by different members towards the face value of shares is collectively called as share capital. According to Schedule 3rd of the Companies Act 2013, the information relating to share capital of the company is to be shown in the balance sheet under the following heads. Number 1 is authorized capital. Authorized capital is also known as registered capital, or we can say the other name is nominal capital. According to Companies Act 2013, authorized capital or nominal capital means such capital as is authorized by the memorandum of a company to be the maximum amount of share capital of the company. This definition is under section 2(8) of Companies Act 2013. This is the maximum limit of capital which a company is authorized to raise. A company cannot issue shares for more than this amount. This amount is stated in Memorandum of Association of the company. It is also known as nominal capital or registered capital. This was the first category of share capital, authorized capital. This is to be written when we make balance sheet of a company. Then there is a head, equity and liabilities, and under equity and liabilities there is subhead, shareholders fund. Now in shareholders fund we write down share capital, and the first part is authorized capital. Authorized capital is that capital for which the company is registered. Number 2, after that we write down issued capital. First of all, head is equity and liabilities, then under that subhead is shareholders fund, and then share capital, and first part is share capital is authorized capital, and second part is issued capital. What is issued capital? According to Companies Act 2013, issued capital means such capital as the company issues from time to time for subscription. This definition is given under section 2 of Companies Act 2013. It is the nominal value of that part of authorized capital which the company has issued to the public for cash or for consideration other than cash. Consideration other than cash means shares issued to vendors or promoters. For example, company has purchased an asset, for example machinery. So instead of paying to that vendor or from whom company has purchased machinery, they pay in the form of shares. So it is consideration other than cash. Or promoters means those who were there in establishing the company are known as promoters. Then they become the directors. So they can be issued, instead of paying them their remuneration, they can be given share capital of the company. That part of the capital which is not issued by the company is called unissued capital, and this can be issued later on when needed. So these were two parts. Now the third part is subscribed capital. According to Companies Act 2013, subscribed capital means such part of the capital which is for the time being subscribed by the members of a company. It is under section 286 of Companies Act 2013. It is that part of the issued capital which is actually subscribed by the public is called subscribed capital. A company can allot only that number of shares which are issued. If the applications for the purchase of shares are not received in full, such unissued part of capital is called unsubscribed capital. Then the fourth one is called up capital. According to Companies Act 2013, section 215, called up capital means such part of the capital which has been called for payment. It is that amount of the shares subscribed, demanded from the public by the company is called as called up capital. And the fifth part is paid up capital. According to Companies Act 2013, paid up share capital or share capital paid up means such aggregate amount of money credited as fully paid up as is equivalent to the amount received as paid up in respect of shares issued, and also includes any amount credited as paid up in respect of shares of the company, but does not include any other amount received in respect of such shares by whatever name called. This definition is given under section 264 of Companies Act 2013. That part of the called up capital which is actually paid by the shareholders is known as paid up capital. If the called up amount is fully paid up by the shareholders, the called up and paid up capitals would be the same. If some of the shareholders fail to make the payment of their dues till the last date of receipt of calls, such part is known as call in arrears. Sometimes few shareholders make the payment of such calls also which are not made by the company. Such amount received against a call which is not yet due is known as call in advance. So these were the 5 parts that are shown in the balance sheet of the company. Then there is the last type of share capital, that is reserve capital. Reserve capital is generally asked in exams. Reserve capital, the company may decide by passing a special resolution that a portion of the uncalled amount shall not be called up by the company except in case of winding up of or liquidation. Means reserve capital is that capital which is called at the time of winding up of the company. This amount should be shown by way of a note in the balance sheet of the company, but now it has been withdrawn in the new Companies Act as the provision of section 65 of the Companies Act 2013. An unlimited company having a share capital may provide for reserve shares capital on conversion into a limited company. So these were the 6 types of share capital: authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up capital, paid up capital and reserve capital. Now I will discuss the procedure for issuing shares. The procedure for the issue of shares involve the following steps. That is, first of all, issue of prospectus. Then second is receipt of applications for shares. Prospectus is a type of advertisement. It is given in newspaper. In this the whole information about the company is given, that what is its registered capital, what are its objects, where is its place, and what is its business, and how will it deal it, all the rules, regulations, names of directors, their addresses, everything is given in the prospectus. So by reading the prospectus, public apply for the shares, that is, and on the basis of that applications are received by the company. So second step is receipt of application for shares. So when applications are received, allotment of shares to applicants is done by the board of directors. So allotment of shares means distribution of shares amongst the applicants. After the closure of subscription list, the bankers would forward all applications to the company, and then after allotment, issue of share certificate to the shareholders, and then last step is receipt of call money. So this was the procedure for issuing shares. I hope you all understood. Thank you.